It seems that you've changed.
Macklin, you son of a bitch. No spoilers.
No.
But wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed.
What constitutes a spoiler to you?
Something that I can't tell from the trailer is a spoiler.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Because, it's always dangerous.
It is.
And that's why we either go to screenings or we go the second, the first show that's opening the day before it opens.
Yes.
And everybody's surprised, and we'll talk about the numbers on this movie we're talking about, this little indie film.
Yeah, right.
Called, technically it is an indie film, isn't it? Marvel Studios isn't one of the big, studios, the big six or whatever it is. That's down to probably 3 or 4 now. Once you're owned by Disney, though, that's kind of, you're not really indie
You're not
anymore.
really indie
yeah,
anymore,
the Magic
no.
Kingdom. When you wish upon a giant pot of gold. But... so we go as soon as we can to not be spoiled. But people are online. They're like, well, "I'm going to see. Here's a picture of my ticket. I don't want to see that. It's spoilers."
I know.
It's a movie. I'm just going to see it.
I know.
There are superheroes in it.
Yes, but to be fair,
maybe somebody dies.
Maybe
they don't.
Maybe they don't.
You're suggesting that they die.
Now
I know that death is on the table, or the contemplation thereof.
Right. I saw an article that says spoiler-free review of Infinity War.
Yeah.
But then the still shot that they showed, I was like, that could be constituted as a spoiler because of the characters that are in it. I'm just saying.
Well, like the poster?
No, this wasn't the poster.
Oh,
This
okay.
is a still from the film.
Okay, I think I might know what you're talking about, and us just talking about this could be considered a spoiler.
Yes.
I read a review, too. A lot of people did, and they're mad about it. I won't give the guy's name. I ain't going to say his name, but it's the guy from Forbes, I think.
Okay.
And he wrote a review that I think is kind of it's all right kind of review.
Okay.
But he gives the whole movie away.
All right.
And it was published whenever critics get to publish it and the embargo's off. So probably late Thursday night or whatever. And there are a lot of people there are hundreds, maybe dozens of YouTube videos of people just dragging this guy for doing that.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, it's in the purview. I hope nobody gets mad at us because we're going to talk about what happens in the film. Well,
yeah,
we
we
have
are.
plenty of liberal spoiler warnings, but
yeah.
People were not happy at this guy. They're like, boycott Forbes.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you allowed to buy Forbes if you work at the Circle K? What do you have to do to buy Forbes?
I don't know. You have to make a certain amount of money every year.
I don't think these people, these YouTube creators, match that.
Oh, probably not.
Careful throwing stones at your own house. Playing ball inside the glass house.
Yeah.
Write it down. That's a new aphorism. We're making aphorisms all the time here at the Just Enough Trope podcast. I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mika Hana.
And this is it. We're here. It's the eve, but it's not the eve. It's right now.
Yeah.
We're here to review Avengers Infinity War. The culmination is the word. And they are making plenty of hay out of that.
Yeah,
everybody
for sure.
is talking about how this is a journey of 10 years.
Yep.
And it's, the apotheosis of all these films and everything coming together.
Yep.
Thanos is trying to assemble all these Infinity Stones.
Yes.
And they've assembled all these films, sort of. So they've created the first meta MacGuffin.
Yes.
They took a bunch of MacGuffins from other films, and he's collected all the MacGuffins now.
Yes.
To make the Uber MacGuffin.
Yes.
And why did no one think of this?
I don't know.
Why didn't they have a movie where we're trying to get the Maltese Falcon and the briefcase from Pulp Fiction and the sled from Citizen Kane? Once we assemble all these things, then a black hole singularity made of celluloid will appear.
Yes.
And Porky Pig will jump out and go, "That's all, folks," or something like that. But yeah, it's weird to contemplate because on one side of it, it's very mundane. It's just a big movie.
It is.
This is a big movie.
It's an event.
But on the other side of it, it's like think of something like another big franchise. The Transformers can barely keep anything straight. They don't know what's coming or going or who's in it or whatever. And now there's Knights for some reason.
Right.
And they've kept pretty much on message the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we'll talk about. I want to talk about a little bit of news. We don't have a lot of time, so
Sure.
we'll just do a little squirt of news. Then we'll talk about Avengers Infinity War, and we'll give you liberal warning about when the spoilers are coming. We'll
Yep.
give you our impressions and our rating, and then we'll do spoiler talk.
Yep.
And that'll be pretty much it. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Cal. It's getting hot.
in the world?
Yeah. It's,
Have some people believe that. I don't know how I feel.
yeah. At least it's finally spring, but
Yeah.
there's new things to complain about.
Yeah. Well, you know what spring means. April showers bring
Mayflowers.
movie releases.
Oh.
Yeah. We're in full swing now for all the big event movies, and we'll talk about some of
That's
those
true.
after we're done talking about Infinity War. But let's not waste any time. Let's get right to the news and then Infinity War. Real quick.
Okay.
There's been some announcements on the other side of the fence. Looks like Wonder Woman 2 will be taking place in the 80s. In the 80s.
Okay.
Yes.
That's quite a big jump.
It is.
World
It
War
is.
I to the 80s.
Yes. Patty Jenkins revealed at CinemaCon that it would be a period piece taking place in the 1980s. And
Okay.
of course, we know that Kristen Wiig has been hired as the Cheetah.
Oh, okay.
Gal Gadot will return as Wonder Woman, of course.
Yes.
Could they ever recast Wonder Woman if they had to?
They could. I don't know who they would get to replace her, though. I'm trying to think. It'd have to be somebody even newer and more up and coming, I think. So,
How do you? Wow.
yeah.
They're so up and coming. They're the uppest and the comingest.
Yes.
They're already there. They're over the thing.
That's right.
They're behind you. That's how close they are in their coming. Yeah, I don't think we really could. I mean, for better or for worse. I'm not saying it's worse. I'm not criticizing her. I think she did a good job. But you think about a character like Superman, which is continually always recast.
Yes.
You've got your favorite, which is the only one. But anyway, everybody's got their favorite.
Yes.
A character who's been played by, George Reeves, and even before that, there must have been serials in the 30s or 40s, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of anyway. And Linda Carter. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody's taking anything away from her, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, for good or for bad, she's the face of it for
Yes,
sure.
for sure.
The movie will be written not by Alan Heinberg, the guy who is credited with writing the original film. It'll be
Okay.
Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns.
Oh, okay. Are we okay with this?
I don't know. Are we?
He's not always the best, to say the least.
Do you work for Forbes?
No, I don't.
And he'll be joined by Expendables writer Dave Callahan.
Okay.
So everybody's like excited that another female director is back. Some
Yes.
female stars, a big female star in Kristen Wiig.
Yes.
She's not going to fight the old guy with the mustache, Arsene Lupin or whatever. Wait,
Right.
That's a comics character. What's the werewolf guy? But he's not a werewolf.
I have no idea.
But he is a werewolf. I don't know anything about Harry Potter.
Oh, Lupin.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Not the third, though. That's
No,
that's
not
another
the
guy.
third.
And so everybody's excited about that, and now we've got two dudes writing this. Like the toxicest, the most toxic, the highest toxicity.
Oh my gosh.
Ripping heads off and punching through people's stomachs, and I think he wrote she breaks the guy's neck or whatever
Oh, great.
because she had to slice Superman's throat with her tiara. It's Jeff Johns, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
But it's in the 80s.
Yeah.
So that seems rompy to me. They're not going to go cocaine and garbage on the streets of Manhattan, right?
Let's hope not.
Hey, call me, Jeff. I got some ideas for you, I guess. Speaking of good news in the woman department.
Yes, the woman department, huh?
The Black Widow solo movie rumors continue.
Okay.
So we already know that Jack Schaefer was supposed to be writing it.
Okay.
He's working on a script. So this is like pre-production. They don't have a script.
Okay.
But they have already sort of teased, and I don't know if this is a wish list or this is people who are actually going, in consideration to film this film. but they've got a couple directors sort of lined
Okay.
up, and they're all women directors. Now,
Well, that's cool.
before I tell you anything,
Yep.
got any picks?
Um.
Patty Jenkins did pretty good on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ava DuVernay, maybe.
Oh, I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's going to happen.
All right.
I think Ava DuVernay's going to be making smaller
Busy
movies
with other
from
stuff.
here on out. Although, no, I mean, she is going to do the New Gods, the fourth movie.
That's true.
For now. For now. Well, anyway, I'll just move right into it. So this is a Hollywood Reporter story, and they said that Marvel has started meeting with people. And these are usually, I mean, the Hollywood Reporter, take it or leave it, but
Right.
when you hear that they're meeting with people, they usually end up taking one of these people.
Okay.
Like with the Bowden and Fleck thing with Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
That came off. You know, they're doing it.
Sure.
So we've got a list of names, and I'll list a movie that they worked on as well. You've probably never heard of any of these movies,
Okay.
and that's fine. That's totally what they do.
Sure.
So it's all in keeping. But here we go. Denise Gamez,
Okay.
Ergiven.
Okay.
So there will be a pronunciation guide for all the press junkets. Who directed a movie called Mustang, which I think I've heard of. Chloe Zhao, who directed The Rider. Ama Asante, who directed A United Kingdom. Also Maggie Betts of Novitiate, however you say that word.
Oh, wow.
That's a word that I know what it means, and I've never had to speak it out loud before. And Angela Robinson, who directed Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman.
Okay.
So, what do you think about that list of names that you have no context for?
Well, it's a list of names for sure.
All women, and also all excitingly not white. I'm thinking.
Okay.
It's not like nothing wrong with Patty Jenkins, but
Right.
Patty Jenkins.
Right.
Ama Asante sounds excitingly non-white.
Yes, I would agree with that. Well, we're going with fresh, relatively new names, which is a thing that they do.
They do that,
I'm glad that they're all women.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
right?
Any one of them could be a great fit for this. I mean, I'm not really familiar with their work, so
I'm not either, except for Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman movie.
is that the
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it sucks. It stars Luke Evans, so it sucks.
Oh boy.
And Rebecca Hall, so it sucks. And I didn't see it. Now, how do you know it sucks if you didn't see it? We've had this talk before. Here's my thing. Yeah, I'm a critic, so there's some things that I have to see no matter what.
Right.
If I don't have to see it, that's the whole transaction.
Right.
If I look at a McDonald's cheeseburger, limp, gray meat, it just looks bad, and
Right.
it's lukewarm, that's bad. I don't know to eat it. All right, well, I'll eat it. That was terrible.
Right.
Why did I have to eat that? And so everything I've seen about this movie is that it's bad. Now, the reviews don't reflect that.
Okay.
But I think that the reviews are an effect of people were really excited about Wonder Woman. They released it at the perfect time. Like, it came out a couple months after Wonder Woman, and it's the story of the guy that created Wonder Woman, but also
Right.
the racy menage a trois relationship that he had with
Right.
his wife and their girlfriend or whatever.
Right.
Which I think, the critics were like, what a good movie. Oh, it's so good.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also there was some positive, like LGBTQ, non-traditional relationship stuff going on
Sure.
in there as well, which I'm all for, but we can call a bad movie a bad movie.
Yeah, we can.
So I managed to turn this into, we're supposed to be excited about a Black Widow movie, possibly moving forward. And I just dragged a movie. But that's what I do. What else? I've got a lot of news, and it's all Infinity War related, so I'm trying
Sure.
to bust through that. I will say that, speaking of being sensitive about stuff and
Yep.
shows that have shown the ability to not understand how to do that, there's somewhat good news coming from The Simpsons at Fox.
Okay.
The Simpsons is finally going to break Gunsmoke's record for consecutive episodes.
Oh wow.
Gunsmoke has previously held the record. Of course, it was first on the air in 1955 and ran for 635 episodes,
Wow.
which is a while.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many years or decades that turns into, but yeah, Marshall Dillon was getting pretty old there near the end. And The Simpsons is going to hit 6:36.
Okay. Wow.
On Sunday, the day that we're recording this.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And they're going to have, get this,
Yeah.
Maggie is going to have a cowboy hat on in one scene.
Oh my gosh.
That's how they're going to reference it. We all look at Family Guy and we're like, oh, Family Guy, what a Simpsons ripoff. The Simpsons has been a Simpsons ripoff and a Family Guy ripoff for longer than Family Guy has been on, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Hashtag let it die. What's a Simpsons way to say let it die?
Oh boy. I don't know.
Have a cow, man.
Yeah, there
Have
you
a
go.
cow.
There you go.
Cow a bung hole. bung no. Something like that. No? Okay. And what about this? In news that I'm trying to get excited about, it looks like Disney is ordering a Star Wars Resistance series that will be anime inspired.
Okay.
And it will feature, not prominently, but Oscar Isaac and Gwendolyn Christie will appear as their characters at some point on the show.
Okay.
It'll premiere on Disney XD, and it's going to follow a character named Kazuda Giono. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Xiono.
Okay.
Young pilot. Sounds like Poe Dameron, basically.
Yeah.
I kind of think that maybe the negotiations broke down. And Oscar Isaac's like,
I'll appear at some point, but I'm not going to give my voice.
I'm not going to do a series.
Time.
Are you kidding me? My band is touring.
Right.
I have to softly sing kind of not very complicated songs to women, and I won't be dug out of the panties by the time I have to record these things. So it sounds like to me it's a character that's Poe Dameron-ish, Poe-ish.
Okay. This could be good.
Anime inspired.
Yeah.
Who do you think about that?
I think it's going to be big eyes and little mouths and, sweat drops and
Neo Yokio?
Yeah.
Great.
I think it's just going to have that look to it,
Right.
Which is fine.
Does that fit the Star Wars universe?
It can.
I don't know if you're old enough, but when the special editions came out, actually when the re-releases I think came out, they produced or at least brought over here from Japan Star Wars manga.
Oh, okay.
So they had these like 4-issue manga series. They were done by 4 different artists, I think.
Okay.
And they were just like a manga adaptation of Star Wars.
Okay.
Empire and Jedi.
Sure.
And they were okay.
Okay.
All right. There's some things, I don't know, and this isn't a show about manga, and we definitely should move on, but there's some things about manga that are so, everybody says that comics and cinema are cousins.
Sure.
And one arguably came before the other.
Yeah.
I think comics, might have come before cinema.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But comics ends up being the, cinema's like the the overachieving younger brother.
Sure.
Whereas comics is always trying to be like cinema.
Yeah.
And I think that especially you see it in some of these Star Wars manga, the best parts are parts that really emulate the films.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing the trench run and it's like, get out of here, Wedge. And there's like a sweat drop coming down. And
right.
They use those, manga motion lines that were probably invented by Astro Boy guy whose name I can't remember now.
Osamu Tezuka.
Tezuka, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the part where he's like, "Let go, Luke," and all the panels are going down, up, top to bottom, one side of the page, but then the panel on the other side is just totally open, and so he's looking up to the stars out of the trench, and you get this idea this swelling. He's letting go to the universe.
Sure.
And there's a lot of great moments like that, and it's yeah. That's just like the film that I enjoy watching more than reading this. So anyway, I hope that they are able to find something that is just beyond, oh, BB-8, no! Oh!
Right.
Like Hodo makes some joke and everybody falls over and their feet are up in the air. And probably won't be that anime inspired. Well, we got more news, but it's all Infinity Gauntlet news. So let's assemble the not the Avengers. The Stones.
The Stones.
To create the Infinity News.
Okay.
So it's no secret that this movie is a big deal, and it is now the largest deal. All the money hasn't been counted just yet, but it is semi-official, and we'll know Monday morning. It has now achieved the biggest opening weekend of all time.
Wow.
Both domestic and international. It has made $250 million.
Wow.
Domestically, which tops the Force Awakens total in 2015, which is about $248 million.
Wow.
Now, I'm guessing, it's hard to remember back so far, but I'm guessing that they probably said 250 for Star Wars back then too. And then once all the gold coins fell down, it turned into 248.
Yes.
So this is not for sure. It could definitely still turn out to be less or near that. But this is going to be a real neck and neck kind of thing. Either way, unparalleled achievement.
Yeah.
I mean, people came out for this.
Yes.
And I heard a lot of people thinking, it'll do good. It'll do good.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther blew everybody away. It destroyed our conceptions, our preconceptions about how these movies could do.
Yep.
And so people were wondering if it was going to top Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And it did.
Yeah.
It did. I don't know. We shouldn't have been worried, I don't think. But it did. Just as far as like the running totals go, so it's, I said, what did I say? 250 million domestic. It's 630 million worldwide.
Wow.
And I don't know Black Panther's initial totals, but Black Panther eventually rested. It's still playing somewhere, but it's currently at $1.3 billion worldwide.
Wow.
And Avengers Infinity War is at $630 million. So it's half of Black Panther in its first weekend.
Wow. That's crazy.
There has never been anything like this.
No, there hasn't.
But the movie industry's failing.
So I've been told.
And if you try to get a check, get some money from Disney Studios, forget it. This movie didn't make any money.
Right.
That's what they'll tell you.
Right.
As far as the domestic side goes, I think it's $688 million.
Okay.
So for Black Panther domestically, and of course Avengers is at $250. So it's a little under half.
Yeah.
In the first weekend.
Okay. Looking good.
It's crazy sauce.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Crazy times. Made
quite the
$39 million
accomplishment.
in Thursday night showings.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I love Simon, but Love Simon made $39 million.
Yeah, I know.
And this did it in one night. Two showings you could probably fit into a Thursday on 4,500 screens probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, when we went and saw it on Thursday, it was a full house, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
All right.
They were a very receptive house, too.
Okay. Well, why don't we just talk about the film?
Okay.
So, do you, Avengers Infinity War.
Yes.
Do you want to give one of your patented synopsises?
I'll try. Basically.
Without spoiling anything.
Thanos wants to collect the Infinity Stones. There are 6 of them. At the beginning of the film, he has...
That's a spoiler. That's a spoiler.
Spoiler? Okay, fine. So he wants to collect all the stones. He goes through and tries to collect all the stones. And the rest of the our heroes try to stop him. Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go on forever. So
that's right.
False advertising.
Yeah.
It doesn't really feel like it goes on forever.
No.
Did you feel like it was too long?
I didn't feel like it was too long. I mean, they've got a lot of story to tell. So.
They do, although from that synopsis, it doesn't seem like they would.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Does he get him or doesn't he?
Right.
The end.
The end.
It is actually a certain number of minutes long. It's 149 minutes long. It is the longest Marvel film.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that it felt so long.
No.
I guess let's just get into our kind of general impressions of the film. I do like the fact that, I just want to reiterate my fun, clever point about them assembling the MacGuffin made up of MacGuffins.
Yes.
Just like, they just said, hold my beer, watch this.
Right.
And so there we go. What'd you think of the film? General impressions.
Overall, I liked it.
Are you downplaying
Maybe.
In that sort of like Minnesota nice kind of way, like, oh, it was fine.
Yeah,
It was fine.
I may be downplaying.
Oh, that casserole was.
But
it was
I don't
fine.
want to. I don't want to give away why I'm downplaying because that's spoilers. So.
Right, but you're a skilled reviewer, so we're going to talk about how our expectations were or were not met, things that stood out for us. And then we'll get into the nitty and the gritty. I agree with you though, and this is not really a spoiler, but there is no setup to this film.
No.
It starts.
It just gets going.
Mm-hmm. And in the first 5 minutes, there's spoilers.
Yes.
But
exactly.
And well, I mean, we'll talk about this in the spoilers, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it hits the ground running and just never stops.
Yes.
But you can still talk about your impressions.
My impressions were Thanos is really scary.
What did you think about Thanos? The character of Thanos.
I thought they did a good job. I mean,
Marvel
I know
has a villain problem, supposedly.
Supposedly. I don't think he was a bad villain. I think he was a good villain. I don't think he looks a lot like Homer or Scrotum,
No, he does look like... They did make a choice, though.
Yeah, they did.
Josh Brolin's got a big head.
Yep.
No question.
Mm-hmm.
And Thanos is like 9 feet taller or whatever.
Yes.
Like he's very big. But he is egg-shaped. You know
yes.
what I mean? Like they definitely decided, especially when having the armor on sort of balances him out a little bit.
Yeah.
But when he takes it off, it's like shoulder pads, in a Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Or sorry, Wonder Woman 80s blazer or something
yes.
like that. Like it shapes him. And when he takes his helmet and his thing off and he's just in his tank top or whatever, he does look like, like a cartoon.
Yeah, he does.
I was like I don't know. We're at that point, and I mentioned this last week, kind of in setup for this, which is you could never believe a 9 foot tall purple man. It's the Shrek problem. You're never going to believe that.
Right.
Because that's not real.
Right.
So your brain revolts against that. But
sure.
you can do it. You can do Ang Lee's Hulk and go, well, I don't believe that at all, compared to Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, where it's like, well, this is a fantastic creature, but
right.
It looks real, and the lighting and the little hairs on his shoulders or whatever. And I thought that it was a success for the most part for that. There were definitely times where, because they mocapped the hell out of Josh Brolin's face,
yes,
for
they
sure. And there are times that really paid off. And you see this in the trailers too. And there's times that, it didn't look 100% real to me.
Right.
It didn't take me out beyond me just being reminded, oh, this is a amazing CGI creation.
Right.
And then in other scenes, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, Josh Brolin's really mad at these people.
Right. I would almost say that I'm forgetting their names again. The
Obsidian Order?
Yes. Sometimes I felt like
his cronies.
They were more animated, and like that kind of took me out.
They didn't work quite as well for me.
No, they didn't work quite as well for me either. Like they definitely worked really hard on Thanos, and I think they didn't work quite as hard on them.
Ebony Maw is the guy with no nose. He's the Voldemort guy.
He was creepy as hell.
I think he kind of walks away with part of the movie.
Yeah.
He's sort of like the best part of the scenes that he's in.
He is.
And he's got a face that, again, completely unbelievable, but
yes.
I thought for what it was totally immersive. It was great. It's such a long 2.5 hours and counting movie.
I know.
They want to introduce these new characters.
Yep.
This isn't spoiling anything. I don't think they developed them very much.
No, they didn't.
And maybe you can't because, you have to... We've heard about Thanos. Now we have to meet him, and he is in a lot of ways the star of this film.
Right.
So maybe we don't have time for his motorcycle gang.
His cronies.
Then maybe you don't introduce the motorcycle gang then.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I thought that was, except for Ebony Maw, who I thought got plenty of screen time and was a great part of it. Like, do you even know the big guy's name?
I don't know the big guy's name.
Yeah, it's called Obsidian.
Okay.
In the comics, it's Black Dwarf.
Right.
But I think they just thought that maybe Black Dwarf was insensitive.
Right.
You don't cast Peter Dinklage and then have a character that's not him named Dwarf in your film, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Blame Jonathan Hickman for that. But yeah, like the Proxima Midnight character, who's kind of cool, and Corvus Glaive, who is probably in the comics one of my favorite members of the Call Obsidian. He's got Corvus Glaive. Like he's got a glaive. That's his magical weapon or whatever. And he didn't really do anything.
No.
And then they kind of spotlighted Proxima Midnight voiced and also acted, I think, by Carrie Coon from The Leftovers.
Okay.
Who's a great actress. And, you know, she just didn't. It looked like. What am I? It looked. Can't even remember his name now. Steppenwolfy.
Mm-hmm.
She looked like Lady Steppenwolf.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It was too bad. I mean, I remember watching it and being all like, I'm watching CGI.
There has to be a cover band called Lady Steppenwolf, by the way. There has to be.
That'd be pretty great.
What about our characters? There are 30. I made this number up. 37 Marvel heroes in this. Do you think they all got their time?
I think most of them got their time. This isn't really a spoiler, but I'll just say the reveal.
This isn't really a spoiler. Kind of sounds like it's a spoiler.
The reveal of Captain America was pretty cool.
If it wasn't shown in the trailers, it would have. Yeah. We'll get to it.
Okay.
But you thought that they were all well balanced?
I think
it's
that
no secret
they were
that
for the most part.
Yeah. And
but
they
there
deal with
are
it.
some people who weren't in it, and we can talk about that later.
Yeah. And I think that they deal with it in the only way they could, in the right way, that you've got all these characters, and so there's no way that we can just everybody's made this joke, but you know, we'd have to stop and go down the line and everybody gets their quip.
Right.
You know, after Thanos says something.
Yeah.
So they split them all up, and they all have interesting scenes, but this isn't a criticism, but it is something that I definitely felt watching this film and compared to all the other Marvel films, which we just watched, and you can hear our recaps in previous shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're in 4 different movies.
Yes.
And it's like some joiner came in and made a dovetail, groove, a tongue and lock. You don't know carpentry terms? Okay. Anyway, it's like they overlaid these films all into each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you're watching somebody's film for a while, and it's like pushing pause on Netflix and then flipping over to Thor. Now let's watch Thor. And you're watching Thor, and you push pause, and you go over and now let's watch Civil War. Which I liked all those movies, but it kind of felt like it was jarring.
Yeah, it was a little
There's no
jarring.
other way to do it unless, you know, I mean, you're the Hollywood screenwriters, you do it. But it did feel like a bunch of different kind of movies sometimes.
It did.
And none of those movies felt very complex to me.
No, I think
it was all kind
very
of MacGuffin-y.
simplified.
Everybody's storyline, they had something they had to go do, which I know is just called plot. But these movies, I think, have succeeded. And we talk about MacGuffins, and we got to get the thing. But you think about a scene where, what do we have to do? We have to find that rat bastard Sitwell, because we know he's Hydra.
Uh-huh.
So where do we find him? We find him, he's talking to Gary Shandling.
Right.
Who's got some weird, must be improvised monologue about how he's banging his page or something like that.
I know.
And then Falcon's like, gives him a call, and he's like, hey, I'm the good-looking guy at your 12 o'clock.
Right.
And they take him up. They kick him off a roof.
Yes.
He's screaming. And they're like, oh, what about the girl with the lip ring? No, I don't think so. And then we get the reveal of Falcon's wings, you know, as he picks the guy up. And then he goes off and, like, that's character meets plot.
Yes.
And I felt like this was way more plot than character. There's a lot of character moments.
Yeah.
But somehow I felt like we all speculated what it would be like when the Guardians met the Avengers, you know, and it happens. And it isn't until after it's happened you're like, oh, that was it. I kind of felt like there would be some friendly version of the huge circle pan, you know, around all the, like some iconic thing.
Right.
Instead, it's just, I don't know if this is a spoil. Can we spoil jokes?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
No, we'll wait for spoilers.
Okay.
But how did you think that they handled that? All these characters meeting each other.
I think that they handled it as well as they could for the most part. They tried to speed it up because it's like we all know these characters.
Yeah, right.
So
and we got a lot to do.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, if they hadn't given us all that stuff to do, maybe we would have felt cheated, like it wasn't enough of an event. Mm-hmm. But for me, who likes Tarkovsky movies, I would have taken 15 minutes of Iron Man just verbally fighting with Peter Quill over something, you know?
Right.
I've heard this, and I'm not sure it's true. And James Gunn did a live stream today.
Oh, boy.
Hi, guys. And I was like, oh, I got to watch this. And he almost immediately turned it off. Because his idea was, I'm sure everybody in the Marvel camp is like on cloud 9 right now. Mm-hmm. So I think his idea was, I'll see what the fans are doing. And immediately, he likes to answer questions. All the questions are all...
About Infinity War.
Yeah, and he can't answer them. And also, I think he twigged to the fact that people who just want to see James Gunn talk are going to see people asking spoilery questions.
Yeah.
So immediately, you could almost see the disappointment in his face. He's like, okay, well, I'll just tell you about the horror movie I'm shooting right now with Elizabeth Banks, and I got to go. And he basically shut down the stream immediately.
Gosh.
Yeah, which, I mean, good for him, but come on, dude. Just, chill out, pet your dog. Don't just take to Facebook right away.
Yeah.
Act like you've been there. But anyway, I've heard that he wrote the dialogue for the Guardian scenes.
Oh, okay.
He wrote the Guardians dialogue, basically.
Well, that's
something
cool.
that I had speculated on when we walked out of the movie. Like,
yeah.
I wonder how he felt watching somebody
else
write for his, they're basically
his characters. Yeah.
And it turns out he didn't. He even picked that song that they were singing.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Spoiler. So I can't remember. It's only been 48 hours. I can't remember if I came up with this or I saw this somewhere else, but it's brilliant. So let's just say it was me.
Okay.
It's an event movie.
Yes.
That reads like an event comic. If you're familiar with event comics in Marvel or DC, you read Superman or Batman, and then something like, I don't know, Final Night. I don't know why I came up with that one. Comes out. I guess Crisis. There you go. Crisis is 12 issues. It's got to service a lot of different characters. There's some big guy and his big MacGuffin. Mm-hmm. And it's written by George Perez or just one guy who's not the guy that was writing Superman, the guy that's writing Batman. So some of the characters seem to act out of character. Or it's like they'll show up and be like, okay. And then it's like, usually Batman would be in charge of this. Why is Batman getting drinks for everybody?
Right.
It's because we got to service this story. We got to move it forward. Mm-hmm. And all the finely crafted character moments and all the beats and all that, we just don't, that's not this film.
Right.
I've heard people say, well, don't go to this if you haven't seen the other Marvel. No shit, Sherlock. 2 Sherlocks, by the way.
Right.
And so I don't know what I expected. Like I'm sitting here feeling disappointed in that, but at the same time, it's like, well, I don't know how else it could have been.
Right.
I thought maybe they could somehow turn lead to gold and like find some new way to do an event movie. But I think if anything, our Marvel rewatch has shown us that their strength is in character design, introducing these weird concepts to audiences, making them fun. But they didn't reinvent the wheel 18 times.
No.
That's why people say that it's Magic Iron Man.
Right.
Because they've got their formula. And now they have to break out of that formula. They have to.
Right.
And we'll talk in spoilers the ways that they did.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't transcendent. I was hoping it would be.
No, it was...
I just felt tense the whole time.
It was definitely an event. Me too.
Did you feel the same way I did?
Yes.
Like, every time they would switch to somebody else's story, I'm like, oh, I don't want... Part of me doesn't want to watch what's going to happen because I'm afraid something bad's going to happen.
I feel like part of the movie I was watching through my fingers practically.
They did that well. The sense of dread that hangs over it.
Yeah.
They did really well.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad that they couldn't infuse any of the other 18 films or whatever with that sense of dread. Like there should have been a 45-minute montage of every one of those heroes just kicking themselves for not taking this seriously. Like they've been warned about this in one shape or form or another for years. And then in just 2.5 hours, it all falls apart.
Yes.
And it's like, you guys knew about this.
Yes.
The guy with the seaweed on his face almost blew up Xandar.
Yes.
And then you're just like, oh, he put it in a little disco ball. It's fine. And they never thought about it again.
I know.
What did you think was going to happen?
I know.
Great heroes. You guys are great. Any last thoughts before we rate it, and then we'll give our spoiler talks? They never said Avengers Assemble.
No.
That's not really a spoiler, I guess.
And they never do that.
I don't think they ever will at this point.
I mean, like, at the end of, was it Ultron? I think Cap kind of says it, and they cut him off.
All right. I want out of that thought. We already made that point.
Yeah.
Give me your thought. Humor? Like the humor?
I liked the humor. I wish there was a little bit more of it. And also, while I was laughing at the one joke, I missed the next couple of jokes.
Yeah, which, it's not a bad thing, but I felt like the volume, like the sound was a little low in our theater.
Yeah.
Like I'd never tell a theater, turn up the sound. Because already it's like, you can hear birds above you. Yeah, well, can I? And there was a lot of audience reaction, which is great. But yeah, somebody would say a joke and there'd be 2 or 3 tags, and people are just laughing all the way through it. And you can't really. I don't know if it was like they wouldn't have mixed it wrong.
No,
it was just maybe they had it turned down in the theater. I don't know. There are so many jokes, and I wonder is that like humanity's like contribution to the cosmos, just pop culture?
Yeah, maybe.
It'd be hard for like an alien, whatever Drax is supposed to be. They don't have pop culture. It's a bad example, but it just seems like that's all we do.
Yeah.
Like Gamora's like, guys, we really have to stop this. And then another character's like, well, I mean, this is just like that Bruce Willis movie. Like,
right.
Fantastic. And then in the sequel, the alien's like, it's just like a Bruce Willis movie.
Right.
Is that all we've got? Is that all we have?
I don't know.
Hard throwing rocks in every direction in this glass house of pop culture, but it's weird that that's all that we have to offer to the universe.
Yeah.
Boy, what a naked review without spoilers. So we'll just give our rating. How many stones out of 6 would you give it?
Oh boy. Maybe 4 out of 6.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
You don't have to justify it, but care to?
There are parts that I liked about this film, but it did definitely feel like an event film, and I don't know if it's something that I would enjoy as much on a second watch or not.
That's a good point. It's definitely, absolutely half of a 2-part story.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, once we get the second part,
yeah,
well, that'll be some Lord of the
Well,
Rings.
I had-
Lord of the Rings length watching, but
music guru Tara said
oh yeah,
she was talking to her mom about it, and she said, don't go see it until the other one is out in theater.
oh interesting. Okay, her mom's a real story completionist.
Yeah, and she was spoiling some things for her mom, and her mom was like, what?
Is her mom like a Marvel fan?
She must have
10
seen
more
some of
seconds
the
of Music
some
Guru
of the
Tara's family
films.
talk.
So yes, she's seen at least some of the films.
And we're done. Okay, I'm going to give it 5. 5 stones out of 6.
Okay,
You know which one it's missing?
what's it missing?
Soul.
Oh,
The soul stone.
good call.
There's something there in the spirit of it that's lacking.
Yep.
And it's all, a tentative, temporary kind of review, because who knows? Maybe as the first half of a 2-act thing, the second movie, Avengers 4, blows everybody away and
Right.
really puts paid to the whole thing. But, this thing came out. I bought a ticket for the price of one movie.
Right.
And just watching it, yeah, it's unsatisfying in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's hard to, it's still unsatisfying.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We've talked before on the show about how something like The Winter Soldier feels like a second act and promises you more, and then the next movie starts and it doesn't deliver on those promises,
No.
but you barely notice because you're off on some new adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And since that's what they do, I'm really wondering how Avengers 4 is gonna start and proceed. Because
Yeah, me too.
They're not good at picking these things up, and they wrote themselves into a corner where you have to pick up what
You
comes
have
after
to.
this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope they find that 6th stone.
I do too.
All right, from here on out, it's spoilers.
Okay.
Speaking of the 6th stone,
Yes.
how let down were you? No, let me rephrase that. How bad was? No, hold on. Let me rephrase that again. What did you think of the 6th stone, the soul stone thing?
I thought the
Every one of the
Mind
stones.
Stone was the 6th one.
No, yeah. I mean, the 6th one to be revealed. Up to this point, we'd had no idea
Okay,
where it
I gotcha.
was. And so,
I thought it was cool that they had the Red Skull.
wow, we're getting right into it. Okay.
Like guarding it.
You thought that was cool. All right,
I thought
never
that
mind. We'll
was
talk
cool.
about Red Skull. What was cool about it?
He was back. And that
He was back.
that he couldn't have the stone, but he was there to kind of like watch over it.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know.
Why bring him back? Why?
Because it was a cool character reveal.
Why did he guard it?
I don't know why he guarded it.
Why did he have to guard it?
I don't know how he ended up there. or what that story was.
Yeah. Now, do you think you're going to get answers to any of those questions?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, okay, what's the point?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I felt like they felt like his disappearance at the end of the first Avenger was some kind of unanswered question.
Yeah.
And we just talked about how they usually don't bother answering questions.
No.
So why answer it? Especially when the actor doesn't want to come back.
Right.
He didn't even want to do his voice. They got like they literally got what's his name, Ross Marquand or whatever. Like he's an actor, but he's an impressionist. They literally got like a celebrity impressionist to come in and do German Hugo Weaving.
Wow.
And at that point, it's like, why bother?
I don't know. I guess they figured he had the serum too, like Cap, so he's probably still alive somewhere.
Right. Okay, but this answers so many questions, and I really wanted to structure our spoiler talk, but maybe we're just going to talk. This asks so many questions for me. First of all is, I guess your face stays effed up when you're dead?
I guess.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if Bucky comes back as a Force ghost, I hope he's got two hands.
Yeah, no kidding.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Anakin Skywalker theory of Force ghosting.
Yeah.
So when the Red Skull is taken away and then punished by who?
I don't know.
For touching one of the stones or for trying to get one of the stones? Not like everybody, all the people who have tried to get stones
are punished.
Guess who's not coming back? Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, I know.
He's not coming back.
No kidding.
But he would definitely be whoever is in this ghostly hell for people who try to meddle with the stones.
True. So we'd run in the accuser.
Because Keith is, no, but so that suggests to me some authority who is above them.
Yes.
Who is, because if you've got a heaven and hell, you've got somebody that decides where they go, right?
Right.
But is that ever going to get answered?
I
Now,
don't think
the natural
so.
answer is, well, it's eternity. It's the living tribunal. It's all the cosmic characters from Marvel that are absent in this. But if they don't even have death in this, they're not going to have the in-betweener. You know what I
true.
mean? So my point is like, up to this point, yeah, it's been goofy. The Reality Stone is red Kool-Aid or whatever.
Right.
You know, and it's all these kind of dumb things. Fine, we got to get them in. They're just MacGuffins. Who cares?
Yep.
But suddenly but this is the MacGuffiniest, like, out of left field, nowhere, this thing of them all. We all thought that it was going to be hidden, like it was Heimdall's eyes or whatever it is, or it was in Wakanda.
Yeah.
What a great place. It would have made total sense.
Yes.
Although they wouldn't have brought Vision there then, because why put two of them together? That's when we lose, we're
True.
going to lose two. But instead they just go, no, it's on a planet called Vormir, which is in the comics, but in their keeping of just picking planet names at random, it has nothing to do with anything in the comics. It's just a planet name. Mm-hmm. There's just this temple on this planet. It's there. The Red Skull's here for no good reason.
Yep.
And for absolutely no reason, you have to kill something you love to get it.
Yep.
I mean, it does the job of making Thanos sympathetic, even though he is insane. And if I met a man who said, well, I killed my daughter because I loved her so much, I would be screaming for the police.
Yes.
But in a movie, it makes him sympathetic.
Yes.
And it's a great turn and it makes Gamora look like a total chump.
Yeah.
What a chump way for her to go out.
It's not.
I mean, I never really
way.
liked the character all that much, but I didn't want her to go out like that.
I definitely cried when she died.
And it just makes her look like, because she has this moment of triumph, like, you screwed yourself. You played yourself, friend.
Right.
Because it's like you threw away everything and you hate everything, and now you can't even get this thing that you want. And he's like, no, actually, I loved you. And it's like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to die. Guess I'll die then.
Right.
So I don't know if that's selling the character out, but there we go.
Well, and then, like, she tries to kill herself, and then it's like Bubbles. And
Why is he addicted to Bubbles?
I don't know.
This is okay. Random skipping complaints. We're going 80 jumps to get to these complaints. Ding, 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 ding. Pinball sounds. You do the Bubbles with the gun.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Why do Bubbles again?
I don't know.
So we know what happened?
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess.
But he could have easily done something else.
He could have grabbed her arm or just anything that looks like, well, that's not what a knife's supposed to do. Clearly, he used the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
What did you think about the Infinity Gauntlet? What happened?
I thought that
he does the thing at the end.
Well,
and the gauntlet like blows up.
Yeah.
What was that?
I have no idea. Like, if it, like, overpowered or something?
It's it's all the power.
I know.
It's everything. You can do anything.
Well, I have a question. Is it just me, or does the Mind Stone look like it's bigger than the other stones?
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh, is that the one that's
it's in the center
in the
of his
main
glove?
thing?
Yeah.
I think they just had to put that on last because it didn't make any sense for his pinky to not have a stone to put the last one in. Or
Okay.
whatever. I want to yell some more real fast.
Please.
So, no death.
No death.
And you read interviews with the writers saying, this is too much to introduce a new character at this point. It's like, I know you guys have been working on the script for a while, but you literally just had a famous actress playing a character who is literally the goddess of death.
Yes.
And you can believe that somebody would fall in love with her.
Yep.
Like, she's hot. She's a great actress. She probably locked into I'm sure she's in a contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much to explain. So instead, you change his motivations to be, well, I'm a guy he's an eco-terrorist, basically.
Right.
Like, I don't like overpopulation.
Right.
Despite the fact that once he has a gauntlet that can do anything, he could just make more food. He could make more planets. There's lots of ways that he could solve that problem.
Yeah.
I really love the fact when they go to Titan at the end, which I'm pretty sure they never say it explicitly, but I'm pretty sure they're saying that it's a planet when it's a moon of Saturn.
Yes.
But they ride that ship with Voldemort for a long time.
Yes.
So I'm assuming they're just saying it's another planet.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. And then he shows Strange, this is what it used to look like. It could be that now.
Right.
You can change reality.
Right.
You could bring your entire planet back.
Mm-hmm.
Why not do that?
Right.
You could just stop right there. I gotta do this. Okay.
I know.
Okay. I mean, nuanced character, star of the movie. They want to, Kevin Feige's, seriously talking about doing an Eternals movie now. I don't know if that'll work, but definitely want to see Thanos and, like, don't hate him, even though I hate him.
Right.
But you've really written him into this thing. Like, if you had written a little more, maybe he gets to a point where his faith is shaken before he kills her or whatever. But after he kills her, it's like, well, I've killed her, so I've just got to finish this now.
Right.
Like, I'm weary. And he does go, boy, it's been a tough day or whatever. But still, like, you can turn lasers to bubbles. You could probably just bring everybody back to life on your planet.
Yeah.
You
could probably bring your daughter back.
Yeah, I don't really know how that works. In the comics, the Soul Stone contains the souls of dead people, so she'll definitely be inside the Soul Stone, I'm sure. And we'll just segue into this now. All the people that disappeared at the end of the film are probably in the Soul Stone or something like that.
Okay.
So, what do you think about that?
Well, I think they're going to have to bring people back because I don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
Otherwise.
Okay. I almost forgot. Before we get out of that, eco-terrorist. I swear to God, I'm not lying. I wrote this down on my phone surreptitiously. I know how to do it. I'm a reviewer. I didn't bother anybody during the movie.
Right.
I wrote the name Kodos.
Okay.
Because Kodos the Executioner is a character from one of my favorite Star Trek episodes, The Conscience of the King.
Okay.
And he's this guy who ran this colony called Tarsus 4, and they ran out of food. And so basically he said, all right, we're out of food. We're all going to tear each other apart and starve to death, and it'll be horrible. Or I can kill, like, half of you. Or maybe not half. That's on the nose. That's Thanos. I think he killed, like, a quarter of the people.
Okay.
And so when the space fleet or the Federation people finally got there, they're like, this guy's a monster, and then he escaped. And basically, like, in the episode, he's asking himself, like, am I? Like, I didn't want to do that, but that's the burden of power. Like, there was no other choice.
Right.
That's this. That's basically what he's doing.
It is.
And I was watching a YouTube review, and somebody brought that up, and I was like, no! I could flush the pills down the toilet now. I'm not crazy. That's just what I saw.
No, you're not crazy.
Except that's not it at all. He's in love with death. It's dumb. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, okay. So, speaking of death.
Yes.
Snaps his fingers.
Yeah.
We are not used to seeing this level of failure.
No.
In a Marvel movie, or the lamentations of the audience as this sequence plays out.
Yes.
And all these characters just disappear.
Yes.
Like, we've had bad things happen in Marvel movies before, but it's just, the sense of dread where it's, even though They're all coming back. This is literally based around an artifact that can change. You watch Vision explode, and he puts them right back together. So you know what this thing's capable of.
Right.
But still, just having to sit there. I don't watch The Walking Dead, but this is what I imagine it's like.
Yeah.
Let's just line everybody up on their knees.
Right.
And we're just going to slit some of their throats.
Right.
And then just move on.
Mm-hmm. It was really upsetting. But I know that they're going to be coming back, so it seems like part of it seems pointless.
Well, it's the turning point. It's the
I know
the belly of the beast. To use the Campbellian sort of thing.
But man, a couple of them were really hard to watch, like Bucky and Cap.
Why does his arm disappear? I guess why does his clothes disappear? Every part of him disappears.
His arm disappears, but his gun doesn't.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So,
right. Yeah.
I don't know why.
His gun should have disappeared, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I destroyed half of all the guns in the universe. I don't want the NRA on my ass.
Oh, my gosh.
Put a smile
and
on
then
face.
when Groot disappears, and then, like, Rocket is, like, right there.
Right.
And Rocket is the only one of the Guardians of the Galaxy who survived.
Right. Let's talk about that. Thanks,
That's
Pete.
rough.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
Way to screw it up.
Yep.
First, you can't kill Gamora, which...
Right.
Tough.
Yeah.
I know that there's something happening thematically when the hero... We don't trade lives, Captain America says.
Mm-hmm.
And the hero refuses to kill somebody he loves, which leads to something horrible. And the bad guy does kill somebody he loves.
Yes.
Which leads to something horrible.
Yes.
So just in order to reaffirm my faith in humanity and that Kevin Feige is not running some kind of death cult, I'm sure that it will all lead to Thanos' downfall, like the choices that he's made. But so far, he's made all the right choices.
Right.
And Peter makes two extremely wrong choices.
Yes.
In not killing Gamora when he had the chance, and then basically trying to kill Thanos when we're already trying to kill Thanos. Pete,
Yes.
get on board with the
Right.
plan. It's your plan.
It's your plan, and it's almost working.
And I've already seen backlash on Twitter where people are like, I'm worried about Guardians 3 now.
Yeah.
If people will like the character anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm of two minds on that. One is I'm actually on 2.5 minds. Aren't we all kind of sick of Chris Pratt?
Well, no, I'm not sick of Chris Pratt.
Okay, well. Okay, well then, are we sick of the kind of character that he plays? Yeah, I'm a big man child. Yeah, great. But look at T'Challa, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know everything, but he keeps it together.
Yeah.
Here's some more pop culture references. All right, shut up. Right?
I guess.
I mean, we need to see... And
Maybe we need to see him grow
I didn't
more.
love Volume 2, but it seemed like the end of Volume 2 was leading us there. And then we get right back to, like, this dipshit dooms half the universe, basically.
Yes.
He screwed us.
Yeah.
Although, and I'm sure they're not doing this because, like I said, there's no Silver Surfer. I don't know if Adam Warlock's ever going to make it to these things.
I don't know
unless
either.
he's in the Captain Marvel movie. They don't care what happens in the comics, but Star-Lord's not great in the comics. A lot of people forget that when he is reintroduced, first of all, he was not great when Steve Englehart was writing him or whatever. Like, he was not a good person. But when he comes back in the early 2000s, he's in the jail, the kiln, because he killed, like, 300,000 people.
Jeez.
You know, he was trying to stop the Fallen One, this Herald of Galactus, who was, like, doing bad things, who would have absolutely killed billions of people.
Okay.
And he figures out that if he can blow up this planet, he can use energy to stop the Fallen One. But there's like a mining colony of like 350,000 people on the planet. And he does the math, and he does it.
Oh, my gosh.
And then basically after that, you know, he basically just turns himself in because he's like, I'm a murderer. Like, you know, I did what I had to, but it's horrible.
Wow.
So he's already like, and you've read the Annihilation miniseries with Star-Lord after that, with the Guardians.
Yeah.
So he starts from that place where he just wanted to hide from the world and just be dead. Well, Peter in the movies doesn't get to make that choice.
No.
You know, I almost wish that he had stuck around so he would have to face up to what he did. But now we'll talk about who disappeared and why.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious why everybody who disappeared. People are like, oh, I can't believe they get rid of T'Challa. He's got this huge movie. It's $1.5 billion.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's the point is that everybody's going to come back and the people that stayed are going to die.
Yeah.
Who stayed? Captain America.
Yep.
His famously was going to leave this thing.
Yep.
Tony Stark.
Yep.
Don Cheadle needs those legs to walk now. Like, how many more of these movies does he have in him?
I know.
Love him. Great, but old. Falcon was... Falcon was gone too.
Yep.
Could be the new Captain America.
Yep.
Bucky could be the new Captain America.
Yep.
They took away everybody that... We talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going to do the other thing.
Yep.
And it's like, but doing the other thing when it's so obvious that they're going to come back and...
Right.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, it is obvious that they're going to come back, so it's.
But do you think that means that Black Widow, Captain America, and when I say that, I mean Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, Don Cheadle, all these people got one movie left.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of sad when you think about it.
Well, I mean, it's sad, but we thought that this was going to be it.
Yes.
And Marvel has just kind of put that off. No,
yes.
Or not, because they've conceived this as a 6-hour movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really getting a lot out of you.
Some people think okay, I have another complaint real quick that's going to lead to discussing this. Doctor Strange just giving away the time stone.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about that.
Okay.
But I wanted to say real fast before you malign the name of the good Sorcerer Supreme that this is it. This is the Strange that I want to see.
Okay.
Again, we have that problem where he's just kind of like, I think I've got this figured out. And by that, he means his accent.
Yes.
But he also means his powers, right?
Yeah.
And then he comes into this movie, boss, just from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is, in my opinion, the best part of this film, outside of, like, Thanos. The whole team is down, and he's taking on Thanos by himself. Like, this is the master of the mystic arts.
Yeah.
Except, I wish that they wouldn't do this, where they punctuate their sentences with their thing before they pull their little discs out. It's like,
yeah,
you can just pull them out. You don't have to, like, period after every word at the last part of your sentence.
Right.
But he's making 1 million copies of himself, and he's shooting, whips, but not like the sparkler whips, from the first film. It's more Crimson Bands of Cyttorak type stuff. And then also, like, he's got the plan. In the comics, Tony Stark is the guy who's, like, got the trap card. But in the movies, he's more earnest, and he's just kind of like, I'm just going to shoot everything with rockets, and it'll figure itself out.
Right.
But they've put that on Strange in this, where it's like, he's got some kind of plan. For some reason, that was the right idea.
I've heard people saying that in maybe the one scenario in which they win or whatever that he saw, maybe Tony Stark is really prominent in that, and so he wanted Thanos
he
to
trades it
spare
for
his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had no... If Peter Dinklage was there, he'd be like, don't do it. Don't do it. He had no reason to believe that Thanos would have kept his word.
No.
But Thanos is like a guy who's like, he does kill a lot of people.
He does.
But he's also a guy who's like, I have one thing that I want to do. I want to snap my fingers and just have people randomly die.
Yeah.
So if I don't have to kill you right now, fine.
Right.
I hope they remember you.
Yes.
Are we done talking about Doctor Strange? I could talk about him all day long.
I'm done if you're done.
Okay. What about that fight scene on Titan?
That was pretty cool.
Pretty great. Pretty great.
Spider-Man was pretty cool. I gotta say, Iron Spider, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
It's all right.
That was pretty awesome.
Why will he ever take that off?
I don't know.
Spider-Man Homecoming 2. He's going to have that on.
Exactly.
Why would he ever not use that?
I know.
Maybe at the end of this, he'll come back to life.
Yep.
And he'll be like, Tony, you got problems, dude. I don't want to use this stuff. I don't trust you.
Maybe.
Or Tony Stark's dead and can't build him another one. It's probably more likely.
Oh.
What else? Did you like the interactions?
Yeah, I did. I like the interactions
and the jokes
with the characters.
that you could hear.
Yes, and the jokes that I could hear and understand.
I'm over the meta jokes.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've been reading for 6 years about what would happen when Bucky met Rocket the Raccoon.
Yeah.
And
then
they
that
do a joke
happened.
about the arm.
Yep.
And my thing is like, beat what Tumblr's got. Don't let Tumblr write the movie for you.
Right.
You know what they've got.
Right.
Read it.
Mm-hmm.
Then beat it.
Yes.
Like, you guys make billions of dollars.
Yes.
Don't just do I'm the Juggernaut
Tumblr.
bitch. You know what I mean? And it's not everything was like that, but like the in jokes, like the jokes about, oh, Star-Lord's fat or whatever, which we did those years ago, like when we were doing Parks and Rec, right?
Yeah.
Although I did like, he's like, I'm going to get some dumbbells. Rocket's like, you know you can't eat dumbbells, right? Because apparently Rocket's nicer, but he's not that nice.
No, he's not that nice. I like that Thor goes off with Rocket and Groot.
That was
pretty awesome.
That was one thing that you could probably write, but maybe it just came out organically. But they're doing like, you can't have my ship. It's like, why are you talking like that? He's trying to copy the way I talk.
Yes. That was pretty great.
Seen this guy, he's, tall, not that handsome.
Yeah.
He's got one eye.
Yep. I love that Groot provided the handle for Thor's axe.
Yeah.
I
Again,
thought that was pretty cool.
it's just fruit basket upset because a lot of people are like saying, oh, does that mean that Groot is worthy? And I'm like, who cares? What does it mean that the Heimdall's dead? So your hammer just can rainbow bridge now because we need you to be at the final battle.
Exactly.
Whatever. Remember the worthy enchantment is Odin put that on there.
That's true.
It probably should have disappeared once Odin died, but the hammer exploded 2 minutes after Odin died. So
yes.
we'll never know. But it's called Stormbreaker, which is not his Yarnborn, the axe that he has in the comics right now. It's somebody else's hammer, but whatever. Nobody seems to pay attention to it.
No.
Thor is really powerful in this.
He is.
Film. Really powerful.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Did you think that... Okay, so this is something that thematically that I wanted to talk about. Everybody calls action movies, comic book movies, dumb. Mm-hmm. Explosions, testosterone, and all the kind of things that we're not looking for in a Tarkovsky film. And Thor, in his Thor way, suffers a huge tragedy at the beginning. Well, he's just suffered... The tragedy's just been on ever since Portman broke up with him. Like, the tragedy's just coming in battalions. But, like, he's humbled at the beginning of the film, and his response, and I thought that he was wiser and more mature than this now, is to get a bigger weapon and hit the guy harder.
Yes.
And he does that.
Yes.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm putting together a real boring Kill Bill 2 of a sequel here, but will the heroes learn that trying to punch harder the guy who can't be beat with punches is not the way to go? And how will that look?
Will.
Maybe we should save this for our speculations at the end. But I don't think that they were looking to create an action movie that was kind of a repudiation of action movies.
Right.
Because everybody just tries their best to hit this guy as hard as they can.
Right.
And he's not a problem that can be solved by hitting it.
Right.
I don't know if they could talk to him or something. Bring Ty Burrell back, Doc Samson, and be like, well, tell me how you really feel about this. Thanos, seems like your strategy has affected you. Have some orange juice. I don't know. That's his thing. And then at the end, he even gets him, and he's like, yeah, gotcha. Ha! Hit you with my axe.
And he's like, you should have gone for the head.
Which is like, would that even matter? Can Thanos be killed at this point?
I don't know.
This is still very unclear.
It is.
All right, let's talk real quick about the gauntlet. The gauntlet seems to be damaged after he does the thing.
Yes.
I don't know why that would be. We're in uncharted territory because, again, they're not paying attention to the comics. But it could be a thing that they did in the comics. And I believe this is during Infinity War after the Magus. Adam Warlock's dark self gets a hold of the Infinity Gauntlet. Again, I can't wait, guys. Now's the time.
Yeah.
I love Adam Warlock, but if you're going to do Adam Warlock...
Now is the time to do Adam Warlock.
Yeah, if there's no gauntlet, you're not going to do it again, are you?
No.
It's kind of dumb, but they give him... He ends up with one gem is fake.
Okay.
Like the reality gem is not the real reality gem or something like that.
Okay.
And so when he uses it, the gauntlet doesn't work or it blows up or something like that.
Okay.
So maybe there's some trickery,
Huh.
some, enchantment by Doctor Strange. It's not the real time gem. Maybe he created something that acts like the time gem or something.
That could be.
I don't know. I mean, he accomplished what he wanted to do.
Yeah, he did.
Plus, all the gems together accomplish something, but if they're powerful separately, which one do you need to kill half the universe?
Probably the soul gem.
Yeah, right. So why set that one up to be the second to last one that he gets?
I don't know.
I
Good question.
assume they know what they're doing.
I assume they know,
I think
too.
they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're thinking about Peter Quill. Oh, here's number 3. Peter Quill held a gun to Peter Parker's head.
Yeah.
Who's the real villain in this movie?
I know.
He's like, I'll blow this guy's brains out. They're like, okay, great. Do it.
Oh, my gosh.
And then, of course, the cooler heads, Doctor Strange is like, all right, wait, hold on. What master do you serve? Like, what am I supposed to say? Jesus?
Yeah.
There's some funny parts.
Yeah, there were some funny parts.
Anything
for
else?
Sure. No Hawkeye or Ant-Man
No.
in this film.
Okay.
Especially Hawkeye.
Do you
kind
think
of
that they're-
missing that?
Do you think that, like Jesus, they have a plan for Hawkeye?
I think they do.
Because at this point, they've built it up, and I don't care about Jeremy Renner, and I like the character of Hawkeye, but you can take or leave him in these films. So I don't care. But if they are trying to like hold out on us and build up some kind of anticipation, I kind of want Hawkeye to save the day in Avengers 4 at this point.
Yeah.
Like they've drawn it out long enough here.
Yeah.
Edging. Isn't that what it's called?
I think so.
Anyway, forget that. Do you
Some
see that
people-
happening?
Some people have speculated that he'll be Ronin. Like, that his family will have died or
Well,
something like that.
Because Freaks and Geeks died off camera.
Yeah.
And turned to dust.
Uh-huh.
Here's something else that's weird is that they've already seen, and this is spoilers, I guess, for Avengers 4, but they've already taken those dirty little set pics,
Yeah.
and they've seen some characters in costumes and locations that look like older movies.
Okay.
So now that we've introduced time travel, which I guess we did before, but
Yeah.
and reality bending, how do you think that will play out?
Oh, boy.
Why do you think they're reshooting scenes from the first Avenger or whatever?
Oh, my gosh. I don't know. That's crazy.
Have these characters, and we don't know because we cut away before we get the full effect, have these characters merely died or have they been erased from existence?
I almost feel like they've been erased from existence.
I don't mean, no, I
But-
mean like everybody forgets about them forever.
Oh, wow.
So like there was no, T'Chaka just didn't have a son or something like that.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know, because people seem to remember them, and they're looking for them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Don Cheadle is like Sam,
Yeah.
and he's
I agree
like
with you.
yelling for Sam.
Because what would be the point?
Yeah.
This isn't a Doctor Who episode
Right.
where Churchill's riding a pterodactyl or something like that. I think that's a little too sophisticated storytelling. Speaking of characters, where Valkyrie? Where there were characters that were
Yes.
that they said were going to be in this movie that weren't in this movie.
Yes.
Like where was Angela Bassett?
She wasn't in this movie.
There were people that were supposed to be in the film that weren't there, and yet Red Skull, thank God. Thank God. Another note
I
about
know.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
We've talked before about like, is Wakanda that great?
Wow.
I know this sounds like a Sean Hannity YouTube video, but you've got the Black Panther.
Yes.
He wears a vibranium suit that makes him
Yes.
be able to do all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You've got an unlimited amount of vibranium.
Yes.
You're fighting four-armed, crazy, slashy, bitey creatures.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be cool if everybody had a Black Panther suit?
Yeah, I would.
Wouldn't that really help you fight off this crazy army?
Yes, I
How's that
would.
monarchy looking now?
Yeah, I know.
You still think that's a good idea?
Not so much, especially when your monarch disappears on you.
Well, yeah, that's a problem. Shuri's in this.
Yes, she is.
Barely.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my other thing. Do you think Shuri somehow did something to the Mind Stone? Maybe that's
I
what,
think
because that's the last
absolutely.
one he gets. Maybe she broke it, or maybe Vision, who gets screwed the most out of, I think, everybody besides Gamora in this film, because
Yeah.
he's just gone.
Yeah.
But after all that talk and all that work that Shuri did, and then she's, we don't talk about her at the end of the film.
Right.
I'm assuming she didn't die. They'd show that.
I don't think she died.
But in the last minute, do you think that she did something where she put Vision's mind back into the stone or something? So he's somehow part, of this. He's
That could
influencing
be.
things or something.
That could be. Maybe that's why the gauntlet went.
Yeah. The only thing that, and they know what they're doing, I assume, but I think ideas like that are undercut by the fact that we see Thanos in his happy little cabin, sitting
Yeah.
and watching the sunrise, which he said that he'd do. And they have to show us in order to drive home, as if erasing from existence half of the characters we love didn't sell this enough.
Right.
He won.
Yeah.
He got everything he wanted.
Yes.
But they'll have to undo that
Yeah.
when we go into the next movie.
Yeah.
So my thing is it's kind of like a Luke Skywalker, looking at the sun or something like that, like only the bad version of that. But maybe you oversold it a little bit, because we are going to have to disturb his calm and peace, I'm assuming, in some way.
Yes.
If he's put the gauntlet down and he's put everything down, something's going to happen to reverse all this.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to know how Tony Stark and Doctor Strange are going to get home. Get back to
There's
Earth.
a bunch of junk there. Tony will build something.
Okay. But aren't
Oh, no,
they on-
Doctor Strange's gone. You meant Nebula, right?
I meant Doctor Strange.
No, he faded away.
He faded away?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I thought he didn't fade away.
Okay, Google. Who dies in Infinity War?
Oh, boy.
Google, you spoiling little bitch, you. It'll tell me.
Yeah, well,
Forbes. Right to Forbes.
wow.
Yeah, I wish Peter hadn't died, so he had to just look at what he did.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, rough. While I'm looking for this, do you
Yeah.
think that people who died before the Soul Stone or whichever stone did the thing, people who didn't fade away, do you think they're dead for good? Heimdall, Gamora, Loki, so on and so forth.
I kind of wish
Vision.
that they're not, but I think that they might be.
Here's the full death list.
Okay.
And now, listener, you're listening. You've seen the film. If you're not, I take
Spoilers
no
already.
responsibility for this. Here's the list. Panther, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch. Which, no pun intended, I feel like these films have nothing to do. I feel bad for Elizabeth Olsen. We can't... How does Wanda feel about stuff? It just seems like I'm sad. Only
Right.
now I don't have the accent anymore for some reason. Her fight scene with Vision, that was awesome. And now
Yeah.
we'll talk about the reveal. I was clapping. I hope I didn't insult the people or make them mad around me. But when Cap and Widow and Falcon
Falcon.
showed up to
Yeah.
save the day,
That was
awesome.
great.
They kicked the crap out of those guys.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch, Drax, Groot, Mantis, Star-Lord, Spider-Man, Strange.
Oh,
and
man, okay.
Fury and Hell post credits.
I thought Strange was fine.
Nope.
For some reason.
It was the only way, Tony.
And then
It
he
was the only way.
disappeared.
I've been working with my vocal coach.
Okay. All right. Well, Nebula's home already, so I don't know. I guess how does Tony get home, I guess.
She's not really into anything else. Talking about something that I mentioned on an earlier show, prediction that came true. They did have a Nebula torture scene, which is
Yep.
true to the comic, which I thought was cool. I
Yeah.
mean, torture, not cool, but
No.
cool.
Yeah. I liked how after the torture scene, she killed the guy who was torturing or had captured her or what have you. The guy who's overseeing her.
Yeah.
And then she goes and tries to kill Thanos again, and she's like, "You should have killed me when you had the chance."
Yeah, because they'll ineffectually try to kill you.
Yeah.
I guess he has to make a fist to make the power work or something.
Okay.
Because every time he does, he always clenches his fist.
Okay.
And then the gem lights up. And when Strange, it tells his cloak to make sure he doesn't close his fist. That's when the cloak flies over and peels his fist open.
Okay.
And then they all beat on him and they're trying to pull it off.
Right.
I don't know. It's just a little thing.
Okay.
It's hard to understand omnipotence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to give these little visual clues, I guess. Do you think that Tobias Funke faded away?
Yeah, because I think the
you
collector
thought I was crazy.
faded.
I saw that in the credits.
No, I know. I looked it up later because
Yeah.
I didn't see him when they showed that scene.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look for him next time.
Any final thoughts as we transition to talking about the future? Eckhart.
Well, I got Stanley cameo. He's on school bus.
Oh, we're doing this still.
Says, "What's the matter? You've never seen a spaceship before?"
I don't want a 95-year-old driving my kids. I don't think that's
probably
not a good idea.
Yeah. Drax being invisible, that was kind of fun.
Okay, that's the kind of thing that I could do without. There's so much to do. There's funny bits.
Yeah.
It's fine, but that's like a YouTube outtake clip, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna like do that for 2 minutes in this huge film.
Yeah, with all these characters.
What'd you think about? I can't believe that Gunn wrote these scenes because it just rewinds a lot of the character development I feel like they got. I mean, we were going to get there eventually. I guess Peter and Gamora were going to do it because it's a movie. But,
yeah,
you know, we ended the last movie in such a nice place.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, I love you too. You're my girlfriend.
Right.
You killed my woman.
Right.
You put her right in that fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Dumb. The sigh of realizing another woman has gone right in the refrigerator.
I do have a haiku as well.
All right, we'll finally bring this saga to a close.
Yeah. Thanos dominates with his glove. Cap tries his best to stop dead the behemoth.
Wow, ballsy behemoth.
Yeah.
In a haiku.
Yep.
That's like a triple word score.
Thank you.
That's great. Yeah, I guess all right. So I guess I gave it 5 out of 6. So I guess I like it. But I would say that for an Avengers movie, it didn't feel like an Avengers movie.
No, I didn't.
You know, I didn't feel like, and maybe this is part of the problem, but except for that final battle, it didn't feel like a team. It didn't feel like they were working together. It didn't feel like, that scene in the Avengers 2012, where they're all, I'll shoot this guy and you'll hit him and then I'll kick him and I'll laser him and we'll do that. And they were just, they were supposed to be overwhelmed by what was going on, and they were. And the final battle came in this fits and starts of like, oh, we're losing. Oh, we're winning again. Oh, we're losing. And we're winning again. Which is exciting, but is not the worst Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit Lord of the Rings battles are like that.
Mm-hmm.
The good Lord of the Rings movies battles are, the battle is a story, and there's a story being told. There is heroism here. We're doing this. We've done all we can, and now the stakes get higher and higher and higher. And it didn't. It should have been that, and it didn't feel like that to me.
Yeah.
Which is not great.
No, it's not great.
It doesn't suck.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel uneasy, and I'm not sure if it's because half of my favorite characters were killed.
Yeah, I think that it has a lot to do with it. When War Machine was yelling after Sam, and then you see Sam disappear, that was pretty sad. I thought it was interesting that War Machine was kind of protective of Falcon, and they were kind of working together in the fight scenes and everything, because Sam was really concerned about War Machine when he went down in Civil War, but Tony kind of blamed him.
There was no beef.
No. And they were just looking out for each other and working with each other.
Yeah.
So.
And also, we didn't even, there was a slight acknowledgement of, oh, what's up, Bruce? Oh, nothing, Nat.
Yeah.
How's
awkward.
your barren womb going? But there was no, I don't know how you could have, but they drag Vision in to the guy that robbed him of his legs, the use of his legs.
Yeah.
And there was no you're okay. It's
No.
all okay, sorry, Sam. Sorry to interrupt your really important meeting, and you're probably going to get fired, but we have to take care of this guy. That's really important.
Yep.
And he also shot your legs off.
Yeah.
There wasn't one little thing where
No.
it was all right, I understand that this is important, but you and me, purpley,
We got a beef.
We got problems.
No.
No, there wasn't anything like that. Why bother? There's no time because my pager's blowing up. 911, 911. What is happening? What?
What?
Why is this necessary?
I don't know.
What is this?
I don't know.
Let's talk about red and blue star.
Yeah, I know.
Why couldn't the pager just say paging Danvers or whatever? And then if
Yes.
people don't know, you guys did a Howard the Duck post-credit scene.
Yeah.
It's clear that the internet exists.
Yes.
Why not just pay homage to the character in the like acknowledge that she is a human being character? You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like what kind of pager shows that?
I know.
Also, kind of a rip. I mean, I'm glad that they're going to do Captain Marvel. We'll talk about that right now, I guess. But, you know, I was just like, come on, paging Reed Richards. Come on. You could have filmed this at any time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
come on. But no, that's too big of a bet.
Yeah.
Even the Watcher would be like, careful with this bet. I cannot interfere, but I don't think you should make this bet. What do you think about Captain Marvel saving the day? Do you think she can save the day?
I don't know. I mean,
Does the pager call her in the 90s? Well, seriously, why is it a pager?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
And then
I think the
also-
implication is that because it's the 90s, pagers were a big thing,
Yeah.
that he gave her a pager 30 years ago or something, but he's
Something.
modified it with space paging, so I assume that she's in space. Or is he calling her like in the 90s?
I don't know.
Is it a time traveling pager?
I have no idea. It makes my head hurt just thinking about it.
Right, and they either thought a lot about it and everything means something, or they're just like, oh, the next one's in the 90s. Like if they had thought to have if they knew where they were going at the end of Wonder Woman, you know, the first Wonder Woman, on her way out of the museum, like she sees somebody in shoulder pads, she's like, nice jacket or something, and like, 'cause
Yeah.
they know they're going to go to the 80s in the next
Right.
one. Like, is it that, or does that, I feel like there's semiotics in what's going on here, right? It means something.
Yeah, I mean, we want it to mean
And
something.
if he's had that in his pocket, why didn't he call that when Ultron was
I
destroying the
know.
world?
That's
Or like when the
I'm-
Chitauri were.
Yeah, that's
If I
kinda
fade
where-
away, I'm going to call her.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why hasn't he called her before? And
Yeah.
why hasn't she come before?
What do you think about Carol Danvers? I ask you, of course, because I have something to say. But I am interested in what you say before I say the thing that I want to say.
I like Carol Danvers. I think she's cool. She's, a strong female character.
Probably.
She's military. And
Probably a Republican.
yeah, probably.
I don't know.
And she's also like outer space. So
Actually, wait a minute.
what?
Let's go through the platform. Guns, yeah, probably. What do you think? Is she pro-life or pro-choice?
I don't know.
Because, do you want to abort the baby of the alien that forcibly impregnates you
Oh,
and
God.
then gives birth to himself?
Yes, you probably do.
You'd probably be pro-choice then, right?
Yeah.
All right, so split ticket on that.
Yeah.
Split ticket. She's never been an A-lister. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I like the character, actually like Monica Rambeau better
Okay.
as Captain Marvel, but I do like Carol Danvers. She was never really that interesting to me when she was created by Gene Colan or Roy Thomas or whoever it was. She was always just, girl with the fair fringe.
Sure.
And she's doing stuff. And I think they definitely made her more interesting as time went on. And bad writing, like her giving birth to the alien who, energy raped her or whatever.
Right.
But under the care of writers like Chris Claremont, she definitely. I like when they fill out like her spy past, and like working for S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. That's all cool. And they've got this new twist now with the Kelly Sue DeConnick stuff.
Yeah.
Where she's Mohawk Captain Marvel.
Yep.
They emphasize the military part, her being a pilot and all that.
Yes.
And like right now, boy, careful, we're in danger zone. Speaking of pilots.
Yeah.
Right now, she's more of an icon than a character to me.
Okay.
It's that thing where, well, it's like T'Challa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Early on when they were writing Black Panther, I'm sure this happened a couple times. It was more, wow, what a credit to your race you are. And it's like,
Wow.
Cap is free to... Daredevil, here you go, Daredevil. Daredevil is defined as a hero as much by his mistakes, if not more, than he is by his successes.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a great story like Born Again, through no fault of his own. He is assaulted, his life is ruined, he's driven crazy by the Kingpin, and he fights through that because he's a hero.
Right.
Then you can have a story like later on where he starts to kind of lose it a little bit. He marries a woman that he's known for like 6 weeks. Then she goes crazy, he, has an affair like when she's in a mental hospital, and it's like, wow, bad choices.
Yeah.
But, he's a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like I think I want to see her be able to make the kind of choices that are sometimes bad that lead to a really nuanced character and not just this rah-rah sisterhood of the flaming pants type thing. Like the first story arc in that Kelly DeConnick thing was one of the first. Is she goes back in time and fights with some lady commandos in World War II.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
I know.
Like she's an emblem more than she's a character right now.
Yeah.
And I hope that and usually, the movies are good at this, like distilling, fixing, making it, interesting. Like if she's Lady Maverick, a lot of lady versions of characters on this show.
Right.
If it's Lady Top Gun or whatever, awesome, cool. But she's just so, not that there absolutely should be characters like that, but she's become less interesting to me the more popular she's become.
Sure.
And to be fair, I haven't really been keeping strong tabs on her.
No.
I know in the last Civil War thing, which is not a good story that I shouldn't be referencing, but like I think she was on the bad side.
Okay.
Which I guess that's an interesting choice to me.
Yeah, it was Cap versus Captain Marvel or something like that.
Versus Tony Stark.
Oh, okay.
So if she is going to be, they're going to emphasize the military aspect of her and she's going to be establishment, then she's going to be in that position where it's like, well, I don't want to do this, but I work for the Secretary of State.
Right.
And you guys are doing bad things, so I got to be the bad guy here.
Right.
Did you got to say stuff, right?
I said
literally talking about women empowerment.
Yeah, I don't know. She's not my favorite, but
ably brought to sparkling life by Brie Larson. I'm sure she's going to be.
Gosh, stop it.
Yeah, we got problems. We already got problems.
Yeah.
So anyway, 90s Nick Fury, 2 eyes.
Yep.
No goatee, looking like Zeus from.
I heard that Coulson's going to be in it.
This is gonna be the Victory Lap nostalgia thing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that they can do then? Because they will talk. We're gonna talk about Infinity Stones a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think that she will? It's so weird for an origin movie, but do you think that she will, in like a Green Lantern, stay with me, way, be sucked into space and then be introduced to all this stuff? I'd have to imagine, with Korath and Ronan being in it, that part of her education will be learning about all this cosmic stuff.
I would think so.
Okay, well then I want to see an Eternity.
Yeah.
And I want to see the Living Tribunal.
Yep.
I want to see this stuff.
Yep. I want it to be interesting.
Yeah, plus they've proved they literally cannot do it. They could make a Millie the Model movie and it would make money at this point.
Right.
You bet they could. So, yeah, I want to see them go nuts.
Yep.
But they should have gone nuts already. Death should have been Mephisto should have been in this movie.
Yeah.
No, get off that train. Very last final thought. But let's stop it. Let's end it. What do you think Avengers 4?
I think it's going to be all the guys we love who survived fighting to win back or get back the
and
ones
it'll be
that
a
we've
one in,
lost.
one out policy.
Oh my gosh.
They're like, we saved you, but we all have to die.
No.
Because of money.
I hope not, but
probably
might be the case. I do love the scene where Steve Rogers meets Groot. I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers.
They definitely just have a bunch of like note cards, and then they're like, all right, let's spend like 2 hours here. Let's put this card and this card together.
Yes.
Do we have anything?
Yes.
And it's like, he'd be like, oh, konnichiwa.
Yeah, exactly.
I am Steve Rogers. Yeah, right. But then we don't get a Rocket, saying, I don't know why his hair looks like that, or just translating whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I think we've said it all pretty much. One final thought from me. I don't know where they go from here, and this is risky because you want to make $630 million worldwide.
Yep.
But I think they should step away from events. They got lucky. They will definitely, they've already got us hooked, so nobody's going to stop caring next year,
right.
May 3rd next year. So they'll get lucky again. And I think they should step back and not immediately go into Secret War or whatever. You know what I mean? They should take another 10 years.
Yeah.
Or 5, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do want to see Captain Marvel, but I want her to get her own thing and not have it be 75% setting up new stuff and explaining things that we've already seen but we didn't understand, and that's not a good way to serve anybody's time.
Right.
And Ant, the biggest victim of this is going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Because it's going to have to stand. I'm sure the last 5 minutes they'll be like, "Oh, she disappears" or something like that. But this movie has to live completely in the shadow, fittingly.
Yeah.
Of the big picnic basket.
Yep.
Maybe too much metaphor. Of that is Infinity War, and so I hope it's good. It looks good.
I know.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
I don't know either.
Yeah. All right. End in a fun way. End in a fun way.
End in a fun way.
No, Mika. Oh God, no. I just do the rest of the show like without you. Well, thankfully that hasn't happened and you're still here.
Yes.
But we are going to sign off for now and probably for a little bit. So we've been dealing with some tech issues recently. It's nothing that big of a deal. We've fixed them for the most part, but they're kind of persistent. And so I don't want to keep producing something that's bad. And I think that after this big event, this is a good time to step away. Not for too long, clearly, because we've got a whole summer release and we've got a whole con schedule of stuff to bring to you and all the fun stuff that we always do on the show. So we'll be back for sure, but we're probably going to take a week or two and chill out. At the very least, we'll be back May 18th, or should I say May 20th, the Sunday after the release of Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Which is really the next big thing that I'm looking for in terms of this crazy hobby. What do you call it? Lifestyle. It's a way of life that we love so much. So we'll definitely be back for that and look for us. In the meantime, you can always catch us on social media at Facebook and Twitter. And always you're welcome to come and drop a line. Leave us a like so we know you're there. And then tell us what you thought about Infinity War.
Yes.
I guess like James Gunn and unlike Forbes, I would say please keep the spoilers to a minimum or at least give people a big, spoiler warning. Carriage returned down a couple times. But other than that, we would love to hear what you think. And I got more to say. I just don't want to bore you. You got a life to live, but I'm definitely willing to talk about it some more. You can find the show, if you haven't already, and I imagine you probably did, on Apple Podcasts or on Stitcher, and most of the places that you usually look to find podcasts. And when you get there, subscribe to the show. It's the best way to get it, and as we take a break, it's the best way to know immediately when we've come back. The show will be there and ready for you to listen to. Give us a review. We'd appreciate that. We've reviewed quite a few movies.
Yes,
it's your turn. Review us. Tell us what you think because we want to hear. And give us a rating at the very least because that's how the services in question know that we're doing a good job. And when we get a good rating, we move up in these ranks. We get to find more people. We get to copy their voices. He's copying me. And that's great. So give us 5 Infinity Gems. The 6th one is fake. You watch it. You watch it. It's something's going to happen. This is real.
Blow up in our
this is a real
faces.
thing. It's a trick. It's a trick. It's a trick. Or 5 stars. Maybe they do that too.
Yeah.
How about 5 randomly chosen planet names? How about that?
That sounds good.
Oh, we didn't talk at all about the Dink.
Oh, no, we didn't.
Anything to say?
I was excited.
Can you make it mild spoiler?
It's a mild spoiler.
But I mean, like, as long as it's not like a big spoiler.
It's not a big spoiler.
Because maybe people are come back and they're listening to the outro. I guess if they'd want to.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the outro.
I was surprised that he was in it, but it was a good surprise.
Yeah. Did you like the thing that they did where it's like, you thought it was this, but it's actually this?
Yes.
It's cute.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess you need all the cuteness you can get in this. This is a dark film.
It is a dark film.
This is the darkest Marvel film.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's in a movie where a bunch of American servicemen all turn out to be Nazis and then shoot the people they've worked with for years. Somehow this is a darker film
Yes.
than that. All right, but that's it. There you go.
Yeah.
So give us 5 stars. That's great. Yeah, like I said, we'll be back to talk about Deadpool, which I've already turned off, but I'm still, I don't know about you, but I'm getting through the filter, the osmosis of
Sure.
like new details, and it seems like it's going to be pretty good.
Yep.
It seems like it's going to be pretty good.
It does seem like it's going to be
we'll
pretty
have
good.
an update and a review about that for sure when we come back. And until then, we're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mika Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning.